Hello YouTube, and thank you for tuning in to another Hanging with Heavy video. Today we're not going to be welding and we're not going fishing. I'm going to fix for you today a rustic Italian dish that my grandmother Angelina Chanez would make for my grandfather Antonio Giordano. Now they immigrated to this country at the turn about 18-something, late 1800s. They settled up in New Jersey. They finally wound up here in my hometown. And my dad and born and raised here. But this dish my mother used to make for me, and she learned it from my grandmother. So today we're going to have rabbit with tomatoes and peppers and onions, and I think you're going to like it. So come on, let's cook something here and see what happens. Okay, this is Brer Rabbit. This is the rabbit in question, and I want to show you a little bit about how we're going to break him apart tonight, because this rabbit has got basically 4 parts, and that's going to be the front legs, the hind legs, both front legs, both hind legs. Those are your 4 major parts. But then we've got the body carcass, and in the body carcass there's going to be a tenderloin in the back, or tenderloin, and on the inside there's going to be some inside tenderloins, and I don't know whether you can see them, but those are the inside tenderloins are right there. I'm going to take and let the rabbit braise into this liquid, and we're going to really knock it out of the park. I think you're really going to like it. So let's start by taking this rabbit apart. Now you're going to notice that this rabbit moves, and if you look right here, you can see where he is moving back and forth, and that's where you want to make your incision. So grab your knife, take and work it along that edge. You don't have to do a lot of cutting here, because this is going to separate. It's just going to separate right away from the body, and you want to get as much of that meat as you can. And you're going to flip him over, and once again we're going to look for that muscle right here. If we can see that, I don't know whether you can see it, I'm not doing a good job. Let's take a look at that. We're going to take that off. I'm going to take him apart here. Then I've got the hind part. Now this is some good eating here. Now this is a domestic rabbit, not a wild rabbit. But you can see that right here there's going to be an action. And we want to find that joint. So I'm just going to take here and follow that muscle right along in here. I'm going to feel that knuckle. And I'll be able to break that right off. Just cut him right on around here. And you're going to be able to take this and separate it just like that. Do the same thing to this side. Then take and cut that off. We'll find that joint, cut through it. Just break that right on off. See, there's the joint. Come on, you rascal. Now I've got the body. You see here, I've got the body of this rabbit. Right here are the tenderloin. We're going to go ahead and take those out. I'm going to take my knife here. I'm going to cut right down this backbone. I'm going to reach in here. I'm going to separate it, and I'm going to come in with my knife, and I'm going to start to cut that right away. Butterfly that right out. I'm just going to follow that rib cage, actually. And you can see I take a nice piece of meat out of the back. Do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to fillet that back out. Now a lot of people would just cut this in half, and that's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. But there's a lot of meat here, so let's go ahead and get that off. And it's good tender meat too, I might add. That off. Run this like a fillet knife almost. You know, if you put a wet paper towel, you put a wet towel underneath the cutting board, it doesn't spin all over the place like this. You would think I would know that, wouldn't you? All right, I'm going to trim this off. Now I've got my inside tenderloins. Let me just separate this for us. You don't want to see all that. Okay, now we've got these inside tenderloins. Sometimes you can just reach right in there and pull them out. They're usually pretty tender. And you get a small inside piece. Now, this is my carcass. I put my cleaver, cut my carcass in half, because this has got a lot of good meat on it. It's got a lot of good flavor on it. Let's take a look here. Now then, what we're going to do next is we're going to mix up our spice rub, because we're going to put in a little flour, okay? So stick with me for a minute, see what happens. All right. Not all right. All right, let's take a look here. Now I'm going to make my flour. You're going, hey, heavy. Where's the no smoking shirt? Well, I'm working with meat. When I work with meat, I like to be clean. I wash my hands and make sure I got on my jacket, make sure I have on my apron. You know, you don't want to ruin your clothes. So meat is bloody, so let's be honest, you got to dress it a little bit for it. But nonetheless, let's take a look here at our mix here. I'm going to take a half a cup of flour, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of some hardened seasoning, a teaspoon of some garlic, powdered garlic. Get in there, you rascal. A teaspoon of some onion, as Justin Wilson would say. And last but not least, a little paprika. Put that in there. And I'll whisk that all together. And you can see after I mix it all together here, it's going to be nice and mixed up, and it smells good too. Now, I'm going to take my rabbit and I'm going to dredge it in this flour. Now, understand, better turn on the stove there, I want to get the pan hot. Now understand, I'm not dredging this for frying. I'm dredging this for browning, because this is going to be a braising type process. Get one of them front legs there. Not much on a front leg, but they're pretty tasty. Little back leg here. I get that back leg. There's a lot of meat on the back leg. I'm going to tell you right now, you get grinding on that back leg, you're going to take it to the bone. I ain't nothing like it. I'll tell you right now. And if you like to hunt, rabbit hunt, boys, this is a great way to fix your rabbit. You know, the wife might get tired of fried rabbit and gravy and onion gravy and that. You know, she might get tired of that. Try something a little different. Lay this on your hunting buddies. See what they say. They might even take the liking it. They go, hey, I didn't know you could cook. You say, I didn't either. One of the things I learned. My mama taught me how. So I put it in here. Okay. You see, right now, I got all my rabbit pieces. They're all in this pan here. I got my pan over here. I'm getting ready to do the deed on that bad boy. I can tell you that right now. Now, let's take a look here. I want to show you the secret. Now let's take a look here. I want to tell you the secret. I want to show you the secret here because there's a big secret. I want to show you the secret. Watch this, watch this. Take a look over here. I know you see it already, don't you? You see it right there. Right here. It's my cast iron pan. Let me get you up here where you can see what the heck I'm doing. Oh my gosh, nobody wants to see that. I'll move it back a little bit there. How you doing there? Okay, now listen. This is my cast iron pan. I'm going to tell you right now, I've cooked a lot of things. It must have hot up in here. I'm going to tell you right now, I've cooked a lot of things in this thing. I've had cast iron for years. I love it. Unfortunately, I got this glass cooktop. And so, you know, they tell you can't be cooking on the glass cooktop with the cast iron. I be telling them, yeah, you can too. Watch this. And I do it. Do it all the time. Wife don't know that. She won't know until she sees this video. Now, woo, mama, she be hot. Now then, over here, 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. This is actually bacon grease. So I'm going to put that in there. Whew, mama, that's a hot. Now, I'm going to take a rabbit. I'm going to lay the rabbit in here. Like that. You say, why isn't it sizzling? It's going to sizzle, believe me. It's sizzling right now. You can't hear it, but it's sizzling. Alright, I got my rabbit laid up in here now. I'm going to let it brown up good. That's what I'm going to do. Yes, sirree. Now, what do you think? What do you think? Got a rabbit going on here. Let me tell you a story. Back when I was pipe fitting, I was working up here, up the road a little bit, and there was this old boy on the job site. He was the man. Okay, he was the man, and we call him Mr. Smith. Okay, Mr. Smith was the man. Well, Mr. Smith and this guy that was my fitter, my pipe fitter, they all the time were kidding and carrying on with each other, so they loved to hunt too. So one day, Mr. Smith tells my fitter, he says, come on over, Leroy. Come on over to the house for dinner Friday. I'm going to cook some rabbit. Well, Leroy, not one to pass up anything like that, jumps right on it and gets on over there. Well, they have a good old dinner, and the next thing you know, Mr. Smith tells him, he says, Leroy, how do you like that rabbit? He said, I like the rabbit. He goes, good, because that was a cat. He said, I done fed you a cat. Don't ever think you can't eat a cat. Now, let's take a look here. I think I better flip this over a little bit. Don't want it to burn too much. Alright, just going to let it get in here a little bit like that. Yeah, get in there. Brown that up a little bit. Turn that down too. Woo-wee, mama. Take away some of that vent. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this brown just a little bit. Just enough to get it hot. I'm going to put it back in the pan. I'm going to add my vegetables in there. Now watch what I'm doing here, okay? Watch this. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Hey, I told you I'd be back. Get some tongs. Not a thong, tongs. Take this rabbit out of here. Yeah, mercy. That rabbit looking good. I'm telling you now, mama. Yes, sir. This rabbit gonna be hotter than a $2 pistol, I tell you. There we go. Now, you're probably going, damn, you know, set the place on fire. Well, maybe so. Set that over there. Now, I'm gonna take my vegetables here. You notice I got some onion, I got some bell pepper, yellow, red bell pepper. Now, the reason why I like to use a variety of peppers and things is because it adds a depth of flavor to it. Not only that, it looks really, really good. So let's go ahead here. Now I got to put a little olive oil in here, so let's go ahead and give me some of this olive oil. I love this. This is garlic infused olive oil from the olive oil shop there in Berlin. And a little bit of olive oil to that. Get things really smoking hot. I'm going to add these vegetables. know, I'm just going to let them cook down a little bit. Here, I want you to get over here and see how pretty this is, because this is some pretty stuff here. I'm not going to lie to you. You just take a look in there. Get in there. Look at that right there. You see that? That's pretty. I don't care who you are. That looks like Christmas in a pan. All right. Now, I'll tell you what. You give me about 15 minutes, and I'll show you what we're going to do next, okay? Hey, don't go nowhere. Matter of fact, you might want to check out some of my other videos, my welding video, or maybe a fishing video I got going on. I'll check in with you in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm in it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, through the magic of cinematography and cheap cinematic tricks, I have elapsed this down to where this is now ready for the rabbit. Now look, I didn't cook it to death, right? You don't see it, it's not all done yet. I'm going to take that and put it aside a little bit like that. I'm going to take that rabbit that I browned earlier. I'm going to just work it in there like that a little bit. Let it get in there. Get that runner in there. Get another hopper in there. Runner. That tenderloin. Let's not crowd the pan. We'll get the tenderloin over here. Get the other tenderloins over here. Now, I'm going to take and cover this all up with the peppers and the onions. Now, here's what we're going to do next. I want you to take a look here. This is peppers, tomatoes, and onions. So, I've got some tomatoes here. These tomatoes I put up this year. They're out of my garden. So I got these tomatoes. I'm going to put them in there. We're going to let that cook down some. And then I've got some tomato sauce that I'm going to put in there. I'll let that cook down some. Now here is the trick to this whole dish, boys and girls. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if you're making this for your buddies out at the hunting camp, they're just gonna fall in love with you, man. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be talk about you pulling out your teeth and all that stuff. Now I'm gonna add some chicken stock. All right, a little bit of chicken stock, not a lot, maybe like a cup. And then I'm gonna add a little wine. That's right. This is a Blue Ridge Winery. This is up from around the Lehigh Valley area, I do believe. And this is just a white wine. Now you're probably saying to yourself, hey, I thought that game meats would require a darker wine, something a little more robust. Not true. This is a rabbit is kind of a white meat, so I'm going to use this wine, and I'm going to add just a little bit of that to it. Okay. Now then, I'm going to bring that up to a simmer. I'm going to bring that up a little bit. I'm going to let it simmer. And while this is simmering, I think I'm going to go relax a little bit. So I'm going to take the lid on there. This bad boy is going to sit. I'm going to let it cook for about 25-30 minutes. I'm going to come take a look at it. We'll see what happens from there. I'm going to let the gravy cook down into those peppers and onions, and it's going to be pretty tasty. All right, stick with me. Come on back. We're going to eat this bad boy here in just a few minutes. Now you take a look at that. Now that is fine like frog hair. Everybody got time for that. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm getting ready to do now. Get ready to add some seasonings to this. I add my herbs at the end because I like to use fresh herbs. And this is, what I've got here is some sage, some rosemary, and some thyme. And I add that towards the end because if you add it early on, it kind of cooks away. So I'm going to take and I'm going to sprinkle some of my fresh herbs on top like that. Kind of like get some of that goodness in there. Yes, sir. That's fine like frog hair, I'm telling you. Now, You just stick around. I'm going to plate this up here in just a minute. We're going to have a piece of this. I'm going to sit down and have some of this rabbit, a glass of wine, out on the deck. Now you just sit around. You stick too. Don't you go nowhere. Hey, just like that finger in there. See that? Wow. Even he wants to get into the action. All right, you stick around. All right, now let's see what we've done here. I'm going to reach in here and give me a piece of this rabbit. Yeah. Give me a big old piece of that rabbit like that over here. And put him over there like that. Well, give me some of them mashed potatoes to go with it. Put me some mashed potatoes right over here. Maybe get me a little bit of that gravy. Put on top of my mashed potatoes like that there. Hey, never cook with a wine you wouldn't drink. I guess I better take the cork out, huh? Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Let's see what old Brer Rabbit. Let's see how he did. Let's see how we done did with the Brer Rabbit. Let me see here. I'm telling you right now, that's some good eating right there. I'll give me a little bit of this wine. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and eat this rabbit, drink my wine. Till next time you check in, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hanging with Heavy.